game of football means so much to so many. The unbridled passion.
We play with heart. We play fast. We play physical. We don't stop till the whistle blows. I love y'all, man.
The commitment and self-sacrifice for one another and team.
1, 2, 3, see how you go.
So go.
For Chandler High freshman quarterback Mason Moran, it's deep, meaningful, and helps define who he is.
I have to have faith, family, friends, and football.
Football for him is what he does, and he wants to be excellent at what he does.
A bond he's fully vested in as a leader with strong convictions.
And I pray that when we go out, we come together as a team, we're a brotherhood, and that I pray no one gets hurt and we just come out with the outcome that we want.
No matter what happens around him, and no matter what, he knows what's right, and he'll stand for it no matter what. And what ends up happening is when you stand for something that's right, people will end up getting behind you.
I love it. I like to be who I am and show people the right path in life. I mean, being a leader of the football team, having the honor of playing quarterback, it's amazing.
Moran was such a spiritual and physical presence for the freshman squad, it's hard to tell at one point he wasn't able to play football or live without constant pain and suffering. Growing up in Virginia, Mason didn't have the ideal childhood.
He was getting sick all the time.
He had digestive issues, he had respiratory issues.
For him, throwing up was a common occurrence.
We'd walk into a room and there was vomit everywhere. He would scream like he was in absolute pain.
Arizona allergist and immunologist, Dr. Dwayne W. Wong.
Mason was actually born with what we call a slightly lower than average immune system. And the basic problem that he had was that he didn't make a normal number of antibodies.
Mason's medical file grew weekly as lying in hospital beds became the norm. At the age of 2, Mason underwent hemorrhoid surgery. When going under for the procedure, his father feared the worst.
They stuck an IV in my arm, and I was out. And my dad was just like, he's gonna wake back up, right? Because they didn't know if he was gonna see me again or not.
It seems like forever, but it's probably about a 10-second window when his eyes are rolling back in his head and he's going to sleep and you're just wondering if your son's going to wake up.
It was one of many frightening moments. In August of 2002, Mason was diagnosed with Wiskott-Aldrich syndrome, a disorder of the blood-forming tissue. In some cases, a patient with the disease doesn't make it to the age of 10.
And so to me, that hit really close to home because I've lost my grandmother and my aunt to lymphoma. And to think that your son could end up fighting that on top of just the whole disorder made it really difficult.
Desperately trying to come to grips with what they thought their son suffered from, the doctors recommended Mason start immediate blood transfusions to help boost his immune system.
And for me, I felt like it was pretty intense to make that kind of decision to do this for the rest of his life. And I felt like I needed to know for sure what Mason had. I just knew again that for my heart and in my spirit that the Lord told me not to do that for Mason at that time.
A fragile moment, as shortly after 9/11, the Morans decided against the treatment. The family went for yet another opinion at the National Institute of Health, where a genetic test revealed the truth.
One of the doctors looked at me and he said, as a mom, you're to be commended. He said, your son does not have Wiskott-Aldrich disease. He said, if you would have started infusions and the kind of infusions they wanted to do on Mason maybe wouldn't have lived the next 24 hours.
Relieved, the Morans discovered Mason suffered from an immune deficiency so rare it's not even classified. A turning point for Mason's health, as the doctors made a life-changing recommendation.
He said, if it was my son, I'd get him to a place where there's a steadier climate.
Strong advice as the Morans ultimately felt they needed a change of scenery. Leaving the ever-changing weather conditions of Virginia behind, the Morans moved to Arizona in 2006.
Since we've lived in Arizona, he's been really healthy.
Did we know originally that this was going to be the answer? Probably not, to be honest, no, but it turned out to be the best thing in the world.
Now with his health amazingly in check for the first time in his life, at 7 years old, Mason started playing football at the Mighty Mite level for the Gilbert Dogs.
I remember going out in the beginning, just throwing up every night and The coaches were like, come on, Mason, come on, Mason.
It was challenging. A lot of times he'd have to take himself out of the game and get breaks and get water and things like that because he wasn't used to the grind, obviously, of football.
I mean, he did cry the first month.
He'd throw up on the sidelines, and I'd look at him and I'd go, gosh, is this just normal? You know, because when my kid throws up, if he gets sick, we have to go to the hospital.
Those worrisome trips would never come, as Mason's health became his strength. He did contemplate quitting, but with time his affection grew stronger as the game became part of his DNA.
I ended up playing, just keep doing it, and it's where I am now.
Mason's dedication led to instant success and national notoriety. In 2011, he led an Arizona All-Star team in a national competition in Orlando. And in 2012, played in the Under Armour All-Star Game for the best 14 and 15-year-olds in the country. Gifted with great speed and height, he possesses the most vital intangibles.
What I think sets him apart is he's very smart and he understands the game. Some guys got it, some guys don't, and he's got it. He just makes plays. So those two things will really benefit him as he goes.
I mean, he was just an amazing young man. He raises the level of the players around him, which I think that, you know, in any sport, if you could do that, it makes you a true leader and a true champion.
Last season, the rising talent led the Chandler freshman team to an undefeated season. The accomplishments and praise keep coming for the youngster, who's embracing every opportunity.
I know he truly believes that playing football is like a gift from God.
Here we go, 878, 92.
His makeup, because he fought as a child, it just made him, you know, successful.
You know, I'm proud of my son. I'm proud of what he does. I look at him and I think he's really good. I think he does really well, but I think it's because he wants it a whole lot. I think he looks at life as a precious gift, and he feels the time that I have on the field, I want to give it the best I got.
Like most kids, playing in the NFL is his dream. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But at least his health and drive gives him a fighting chance.
You never know when your last down's going to be. Just growing up and having the sickness, you never know if tomorrow was going to come and stuff. So, but I mean, yeah, just playing in the game, play every down like it's your last, and just have fun with it.
Joe Pequeno, CBS 5 Sports.